Hey everybody, so today we have another top 10. This is the top 10 tuned vehicles I purchased in the past year. This one is actually not one of them though. This is a honorary mention. The reason why I say that is because I bought this Hot Wheels and this is the very first tuned car I purchased. It was like $1, right, or $3 where I live. But anyways, I modified it. I had some alloy wheels and added some paint. But it's not quite the ChoroQ, or, well, maybe it should belong in here. Well, alright, so this might be the top 11, so I'm breaking the rules a little bit. Okay, so the first one I consider are ChoroQs, and we're going to do 5 of these guys. Unfortunately, my favorite ones are in these tiny Q boxes, and they're mounted, so I'm not going to remove them because, like, that sandpaper. Anyways. This is a Nissan Caravan, and then I 3D printed my own Chevrolet wheels here, and I painted them orange and silver, of course. I think it's just a cool looking van, even in regular form, but obviously it looks pretty cool, I think, in cartoon form as well. So, the next one here, this is the very first Choroku Zero. This is a, Nissan Skyline, the famous Tomica one. Paul Newman drove a version of this as well, but this is the Hasemi Racing one, I think, with this number 11. So Hasemi is a pretty well-known race car owner, race team owner, and driver himself. So I 3D printed my own wheels though on this one. This one here, you should probably recognize from Back to the Future. I have a suspicion this was maybe, sold at Universal Studios Japan or something like that. But I added my own alloy wheels here, and I think they look a lot more like the real DeLorean wheels. So, not sure why this isn't spinning this fast, but like that. Okay, so now this one. This is probably the nicest ChoroQ that's ever been made. This is the Mercedes 300 SL Gullwing, of course. And besides the fact that the doors are open, it actually has a lot of chrome pieces that are separate. They're not part of the body casting. All these chrome bits are extra pieces, glued on or whatnot. So this Choroku has more parts than any other Choroku I've ever seen, and it just so happens to be one of the most beautiful cars ever to have been made. Okay, so the last one, let me get that thing set up, is technically a model kit, but it has the same proportions as ChoroQ. This model kit is made by a brand called Finework, and I love the classic Mini Coopers. I used to have a classic Mini Cooper even, well, it was a 1991, so not very classic, but it looked like this. So I did a video on all these models, but this one I spent a lot of time building this thing, and it still didn't turn out perfect, unfortunately. But still, until someone else makes a better version, I'm going to have to live with this one. Alright, let's move on. Now we're going to jump in. These are my 5 ChoroQ-like vehicles. I'm going to jump up to a different price range and show you the next 5. Alright, this one here is by Timothy and Pierre. It's obviously a Bugatti. It's a Veyron. And I like it because it's got the two-tone paint effect, and also the paint is immaculate. There's no paint rash. It's like so smooth. You can just see all the reflections. There's no orange peel or anything like that. The only shortcoming of these Timothy and Pierre ones are they don't have any interiors, which I was okay with. These don't cost a great deal. You can still get them on AliExpress, where I got this one. So if you like tuned cars, this is nice. It also doesn't have a brake system, but I think the price reflects it. So this one here, this is made by Little Egg, and so this is an RWB 993, and this one does have an interior, so it's upping the game over Timothy and Pierre. But I still don't see a brake system in this one either, so it's still nice though. Look at those wheels. I think those are photo etch wheel centers because the spokes are so thin. You can't do that in plastic, I don't think. Anyways, so this is a nice one. Okay, so this is a Formula 1 car, an Red Bull racing car from a brand called Mini Racing. And, well, it's a much larger scale. I almost feel like it's a 1/43rd scale cartoon car. But still, it has a whole lot of details. Just look at the crazy curves that you'll see all over the body, just like on a real F1 car, but then they shrank the length down. I almost think that exhaust tip is an aluminum tube as well. So it's really cool. Alright, so this spoon Honda here is by YM Model. YM Model makes really fine resin, realistic looking cars. I'm sure they've done one of this that wasn't a cartoon. But this car in real life was the fastest front wheel drive racing car for a while. And it has a central seating position. If you see the steering wheels in the middle of the windshield, that's the way the real car was. So yeah, it's really neat that this thing has an interior and it actually mimics the seating position of the real deal. So that is why it's in here. And this one does have a brake system. They're pretty far back in there, but they're there. Okay, so the very last one here is by 404 Error, and it's an Evo IX with a Voltex body kit on it. And so again, this one has an interior, it's got a dashboard and all the instruments and all that stuff. It's, you know, the wing struts, the canards, they're all very thin. The paint job on all these resins are super smooth. They all have the sheet glass windows, rear view mirror. It's got the works of, like, it's got all the details from another high-end realistic looking model. It's just that it's a lot more difficult to model a cartoon car. You can't take a CAD file from a manufacturer and make it. You have to make this from scratch in a CAD program. So I have a high respect for whoever modeled this in a CAD program. Alright. Or I just don't think someone clay modeled this. It looks too symmetric to be modeled by clay. I think it must have been 3D printed, or the mold was, you know, I think it had to have been made in a computer. Okay. So there you have it, guys. That's my top 10 of super deformed ChoroQ-esque vehicles that I picked up over the last year. It's funny, if you had asked me a year ago, would I ever buy one of these, I would say you're crazy. Those things look so stupid. But now, I think I've passed over 300 of these things. Here's the thing for me, you know, you enter a hobby, you get what you want, and then you migrate. You start changing what you want, right? Because after you buy something, you don't buy it again, or I don't buy it again. So this is where I've migrated to. I've come to appreciate super deformation. It takes a lot of work to deform a normal car to look like this. So, and they just make me laugh, you know, the deformation is just very comical looking. So, okay, well, thanks for watching. I know I'm going to continue collecting these deformed cars. I think I like them more than realistic looking cars, because realistic looking cars have to look realistic for me to appreciate them. But a cartoon car doesn't have to look realistic for me to appreciate it, right? So I'm a lot light-hearted on these type of reviews. Okay, as I say, I've reviewed all these before. You just want to, you know, do a little search in the search bar of my channel. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.